You could not do that with every Strat style guitar. There are lots of Strat style guitars on the market at the moment, and some of them are cheaper than others, some of them have better specs than others, and in this video we're going to find out if the one from Henry's Guitars is good enough to buy. This is the Destiny 2 aged ST2N in Felicity Red. It's going to set you back around 750 euros, and before we go over the specs, I'm going to plug it in and show you some clean sounds on these pickups. And I'm feeling a little funky today, so let's have some funk drums, please. Well, it looks like a Strat, and unsurprisingly, it sounds like a Strat as well, but it sounds like a good Strat. There is clarity there. It reminds me of a 60s style Stratocaster, but with some modern specs. So let's go over those specs now. We're looking not at an older body, not at an ash body, but an Okoume body, which is a little bit lighter, and that's my first impression of this guitar, is how light it actually is. So we'll weigh it in a moment, and I will put my money on it being under 4 kilos for sure. The neck is roasted maple, and this is a roasted maple neck with a roasted maple fretboard on top. So it's not one piece, but these are stainless steel frets, and there are 22 of them. Completing the neck hardware, or headstock hardware I should say, these are locking tuners. They have an H on them. I don't know what that could stand for. Maybe let me know in the comments. And that is an ox bone nut. Also, I really dig the headstock. I'm not sure how California authentic that is, but it's different enough to be different. And that's a roller string tree up there, which is a nice addition. Working our way back down to the body, we've got a vintage style trem with 6 screws and 6 saddles. On the back, that looks like quite a large block in there. And whilst we're around on the back, you'll see that the neck is cut away, or the neck joint, sorry, is cut away just there, and we've got a matching plate for that. That does feel extremely comfy. 3 single coil pickups. They are called the Real Loud, or Real Loud pickups, made for Henry's. The 2 middle pole pieces are raised on both of, or 3 of them, sorry. And then on our volume, tone, and tone, we'll find out if this tone or that tone is linked to the bridge, because I always like having extra tonal control over that if it's a bit too harsh. We'll find out when we get some more gain on that. Then looking back at the neck, that is a 13 and around 3/4 inch radius, or 355 mil, which is flatter than you'll get on, say, a real vintagey Strat. And I don't normally gel with those vintage radius Strats. They harm my playing, or at least I can't get used to them. This one, nice. Which leads me on to the way that this is set up and the playability, the feel. There is a reason this guitar costs what it costs, because it doesn't have a big F on the headstock, yet it is a bit more expensive than, say, let's say a Harley Benton or a Squire. This is leaps and bounds in front of and above Harley Benton and Squire, because the specs are superb. You'll find similar specs on some house brands like Harley Benton. However, the setup on this is spot on. And these are made somewhere overseas. I'm not entirely sure where. But then they are sent to Henry's Music, where they all get set up before they get sent out. And that makes a huge difference. And I think it is a bit more money than what you'd expect for a guitar that doesn't come from California, or anywhere in the world now, but says it comes from California. But the money is going into the setup as well as the specs and the wood and all those bits. You're getting a great setup guitar. It's extremely comfortable to play. I love the feel of the neck, and I need to play it some more. Let's find out if this neck, if this bridge pickup has a tone adjustment. It does! Now that's a push in, pull out trem arm or vibrato arm if you're going to be picky. It's a little bit looser than I'd like. I hope there is an adjustment screw. There is an adjustment screw down there, so that does come out a little bit. I'd like it to be a little bit tighter, so I would screw that in a bit more. And the trem itself feels a little stiff. It's not super stiff. It's a little stiff. There's some resistance there. That is, of course, adjustable. Better than having it floating at the box, I think, because it's more tuning stable. And yes, this is the aged version, but there is a version that's exactly the same as this, but not aged. So even though I think the relicing has been done very tastefully, if you don't dig relicing, you can get the same guitar without that done to it. So everybody should be happy. Let's rock it up a bit. I'm going to go through my Plexi style amp, the Colt from Ace Amplification. Oh, let's do a few more riffs. Hang on. I know this is really silly to say, but it feels and sounds just like a Strat. It's that simple, and it feels like a quality Strat. You'd normally have to pay possibly twice as much to get a guitar with an F on the headstock that sounds and plays like this. And that's dangerous territories these days. Yeah. What you are risking by buying one of these is the resale value. I guess that's the biggest downside. If you're looking for a Strat to play and to enjoy and to not worry about what's written here, and you don't want to spend a bunch of money, this is a good option. I am aware that it is not budget. It is the lower end of now what's called intermediate pricing. So it should be this good. It should sound like this, and it does. You won't get a guitar out of the box from every manufacturer that makes guitars like these. Let's up the gain. Let's go through the Mesa Boogie dual rectifier solo head. Where's the switch? Over there. Right, this is going to be fun. Right, what I'm not getting there, I'm not getting hot rod Strat. These pickups must be vintage voiced. I'm not surprised by that because that's what the guitar feels like. But when we measure those pickups, I think we're going to get some fairly low DC outputs. This is nowhere near humbucker territory, but they're not noisy. I mean, there's noise there, but it's acceptable. More than acceptable. It's good. You could not do that with every Strat style guitar. That's outstanding. I will just check the tuning though. I mean, it had gone out very slightly. That's unbelievable. The strings, by the way, are 10 to 46. They are Henry's own strings. They feel very good. They feel like quality strings. You're not getting rubbish on this, which you can get sometimes. I'm very pleased with those strings. I would expect a 9 to 42, so it's not as slinky as you might hope. It is certainly rock solid. And just because this is a more budget-friendly guitar, let's put it through my Boss Katana. Every time, it's just a Strat. Not just a Strat, it's a really good one. What great sounds are coming from this. I want to measure these pickups, I want to weigh it, I want to put it on a strap and see how balanced, how light it is. Let's do that. So, let's measure some DC resistance. We have the bridge at 6 point... No. Come on, behave. The bridge is 6.1. The middle is 5.7. The neck is also 5.7. Neck and middle, 2.9, 2.8 maybe. And then middle and bridge, 2.9. That's balanced. Oh, 3, come on. It's jumping between 2.9 and 3. It's certainly balanced. So these are not any old pickups that are thrown in there. They sound phenomenal. What about the weight? Where's my scales? Just here. So for the weight, I'm just going to turn that on. We'll do kilograms first and then pounds. There we go. So, whoa, Bubba. Behave. 3.4 kilos, phenomenal. And then in pounds and ounces, that is 7 pounds and 8 burgers. That, my friend, that is a beautiful weight for a Strat. That's perfect. That's like it's there, but it's not too much there. And it's not too light in the body that it starts to tip. Great. That's a perfect weight for a Strat. I'm very happy. So that is the Henry's Destiny 2 ST2N in Felicity Aged Red. There are other colors available, of course. Check the link in the video description if you want more information about that and pricing in your region. I can't say enough nice things about this guitar. You're going to see it in other videos in the future, so subscribe if you want to see it and hear it again, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!